Test, test, test. Hey guys, just testing. Hey guys, just testing. Hey guys, just testing. All right, I think I got it. All right, I think it's echoing. I got it. All right, I think it's echoing. I got it. All right, I think it's echoing. I got it. Yeah, I'm just trying to set this up, so if you guys are coming in, I'm using this Streamlabs Desktop and over OBS, and so far I'm liking what I see. So that for the people that are on, my intentions is to do a weekly stream every Friday, maybe at noon. So that way, and talking about real estate notes, real estate investing, and also retirement, just things like that, things that I typically do day in and day out. I'm a note investor, so I buy these mortgage notes. I buy performing and non-performing notes. I've been doing it for a little while now. I started out rehabbing houses. I was buying initially started out between 3 to 5 and then 5 to 8 houses a month, using private money and things like that. Then I eventually got into mortgage notes, and I've been doing mortgage notes ever since. So I just wanted to share that experience, the path that I've gone down. Not a lot of people understand mortgage notes. It's I think it's the sexier side of real estate investing. So I just want to give a little bit of knowledge about it. Just differences between performing, non-performing notes. If you're new, talk about really not doing non-performing notes, but really first starting off with performing notes, and then kind of slowly working your way into non-performing notes, because they're a different beast all entirely. So I think it'll be beneficial to you. And then obviously, and then if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat, or tag me. You can schedule a time with me, talkwithlarryhoffman.com. Book a time with me on the calendar, and that way we can set up a time to go over it. Or if there's a lot of people, I can even do a Zoom call and just kind of like have a little room. But like I said, right now this is just me testing out this Streamlabs Desktop to see if I like it, and so far I really like it. I was using OBS there for a little bit, and it's just extremely choppy and slow. Looks like I am getting a little bit of lag, which is understandable, but not like I was getting with OBS. So I am definitely liking what I see thus far. And then I'm trying to trying to figure out how to populate different images. Like you see this one up here on the screen. I just popped this thing up here, so I don't know how long it's going to take. There we go. I have my my mobile phone over here looking at it, so it just actually popped up. Let me try to resize that. There. So, and this is just like one of a recent deal that just paid off. So, I think there's a couple of people on. So just, real quick, this was an asset that I purchased in, Kokomo, Indiana. And, I bought it for, used private money to buy it, bought it for $15,012.06. Had it out for 27 months, and then a payoff came in. So when I bought it, I think I bought it at something like 25,000, 24,000. I can look at the payoff again. I forget what I bought it at, but roughly 2.25 years past 27 months, so they paid it down to $23,287.01. The principal and interest payments. Oh, hang on a second. Let me see if I can scroll that over a little bit, just so because it's not coming over. There we go. It looks like it's being chopped off on the left-hand side there. So the principal and interest payments were $159.31. So you back out. It's actually plus $15, right? So I backed out the servicing fee. I was using a servicer to make these to collect these payments, and then the servicing company would send out the 1099 at the end of the year, and then that way they also stayed in contact with the borrower. So, and that's with these mortgage notes. I 100% recommend you not using a servicing company. This wasn't my intention. That was just for everybody joining. I was just doing a test on it, but with testing. I was throwing up this image, and that kind of led just going down this, just talking a little about this. And like I was saying with the servicing company, if you're using if you are doing mortgage notes, 100% use a servicing company. Do not self-service this. It is not worth it for the $15 to $35 a month that they charge. It's well worth it. They collect the payments. They send out the year-end 1099s at the beginning of the year for taxes for the borrower, and then they do any outreach where if they do get behind, then they will send out notifications, letters trying to get them back on track, and then you can even go as far as having pre-signed power of attorney with the servicing company to where if they do get behind, then it'll just after 90 plus days, then it'll just automatically kick into, you can just foreclose. My intentions, foreclosure is the last thing that I want to do. I always try to do a loan modification, just, right out of the gate. Foreclose. Like I said, I'm not in this to get this property. I'm in this to help people. And so it's just a really cool way to, help somebody get back on track, because bad things happen to good people, medical loss of job, or death of a spouse and things like that. Like I said, my intentions aren't to foreclose, but to get them back on track, and that's where that servicing company comes into play. They'll work with you, right? They'll coordinate with you, but I have on some of my servicing companies just go ahead and just once they get behind, just start an outreach program, and I have everything signed. So they have all the letters and everything that they send out, and so but on this particular one, it was a performing note from day one. I bought this with a group of 8 others. It was a little mini pool, and so I had a couple of turds in there as well. So, but you take the good with the bad, and those rotten apples, I was able to get them modified, and they've been paying. But like I was saying, this one was paying from the very beginning. In fact, he would actually pay in advance sometimes, so I never had any problems. I had this out for 27 months, and the payments were $159.31. That's net, right? This is including like the servicing fees taken out. And so the total principal and interest payments over 27 months were $4,301.37. So the payoff that came in was $23,287 minus the $15,000 that I bought it for. There's a total payout of $8,274.94. So the total profit from start to finish was $12,576.32. And it gave you a cash on cash. If you don't, typically your cash on cash is your profit divided by your investment. But the cash on cash, when you see cash on cash, a lot of times they just assume 1 year, and you have to be careful because people use this cash on cash term, and to me it doesn't really mean shit. It's like it means more to me is if I know how long they've had this out. So that way I can annualize this, and then I can also look at the internal rate of return. Even like the internal rate of return can be manipulated depending on if you get more profit on the back end versus like the front end, and then distributions throughout. So I'm not really a keen fan of the IRR. I always annualize everything because I want to compare apples to apples. So in this particular case, I annualized it over 27 months. Like I said, it was 2.25 years that the money was out, and my investor funded the $15,012.06. So the total annualized return was 31.06%, but then when we split it, it was a 15.53% return on his money. So, he got a really good return, and I'm in the process of getting another payoff. So I think the payoff is, or the annualized rate of return is also going to be about this, or if not larger than this one. Do they all go like this? Certainly not. This is, people show the good, more of the good, but I will be showing some of the ones that are personally in my own portfolio that, were performing, that went non-performing, and then I'm in the process of foreclosing on them. And those are the people, like I said, that isn't my intention to foreclose, but unfortunately, you do have people that just bury their heads in the sand, and they don't want to work with you, and I don't get why. Here, let me turn this image off. I don't understand why people are like that. I don't know. I just wish that, when you have somebody reaching out to you, that they would just like, hey, I definitely want to keep this house. I had one here. I'm in Cincinnati, and I actually had one that we bought where it went non-performing, and it was literally 15 minutes from my house, and I physically went up, knocked on the door, sent letters just to try to get them back on track, because I initially spoke to her when I first purchased the note, and then also knocked on the door, let them know, hey, I'm a real person, I'm a real company, I just live 15 minutes down the street. And then she, when she went non-performing, I think she was non-performing for like 3-4 months, and so I tried everything, reaching out to her. The servicing company reached out to her as well, and I just told them just to go ahead and start the foreclosure, unfortunately. And that was kind of like, I sent that demand letter. That was that first shot across the bow, and then she responded, thank God, and I was able to modify that loan for them, and then she was able to apply for government assistance, so it actually helped her, got her back on track. So even with that, I love investing in mortgage notes. Like I said, I started out in 2006 rehabbing properties, between 3 to 5, and then ultimately 5 to 8 houses a month. And I did everything from lease options to subject twos to short sales, Section 8s. I had several multi-unit buildings, 25 units. The 25 units was the largest that I had, and I had, the lowest was a two-family. And I just recently sold that two-family. I think it was about 2 years ago. That was a Section 8 rental. And I just took that money and I've reinvested it in mortgage notes, and I've already made back my my money and then some. The rate of returns on one of my mortgage notes, I'm getting I think it was like a 36% annualized ROI on it, just because right place, right time. This other investor was looking to liquidate three of these notes, and I just got a really good deal, and it was towards the tail end of the notes. So like I said, they don't all typically work out like that. Everybody shares the 15, 36, 50% return on the money. But I mean, if you're getting a 10 or 10% or better return, I think that's fantastic, especially in today's market. Just and that's why I love mortgage notes. That's why I love mortgage notes are the only ones that I know where you can control the rate of return that you want to invest in, right? So meaning, you look at the principal interest payment and look at the unpaid principal balance, and then you base it off of your return. If you want to make a 12% return on your money, you throw that into a financial calculator, and you back out BPO and attorney costs, and lo and behold, you got your offer. Boom, you make that offer, and if that works, it works. You may have to finagle it a little bit, but if you know that your bottom line is like 11%, you can start with like 12 or 13, and then haggle a little bit down. But anyway, I just wanted to just share a little bit about the mortgage notes. And my goal is to every Friday maybe do like a 5 to 10 minute live session, just like mortgage notes. And then I can even do some stuff on other real estate topics, like lease options, subject tos, short sales. I'm my God, man, I haven't done short sales, and it's got to be at least 15 years. Back in the early 90s, I was doing a lot of short sales. But if you guys have any topics that you like to cover, just let me know, and I could cover them. But like I said, the intentions of this is just to do between 5 to 10 minutes every Friday. I'll just have like a little thing about mortgage notes, just everything that over the years that I can kind of think of. And then I'll have other people on as well. So maybe the 5 minutes will turn into 15 minutes, maybe even a half an hour, depending on how the conversation is going. But yeah, if like I said, if you have any questions at all, you just drop them. Go on my TikTok profile, and you'll look at a couple of my videos. You'll see links on how to get in contact with me, or you can just shoot me an email, larry@ljhinvestments.com, or you can just schedule a 30-minute call on my calendar, talkwithlarryhoffman.com. That way it's convenient for you if you have any questions. But yeah, this I wasn't really planning on like talking. This is really just the setup to see if I like this new platform, and I really dig it. And the only thing is, I wish it would show me the chat. Maybe I need to go into the other chat for TikTok. It's showing me the YouTube chat, but it's not showing me the see people joining, but it's not showing me like the chat window on the right hand side. But anyway, I'll try to get that all figured out. And so if anything, drop me a line, and hopefully I'll see you